Yes, we are in live now. And hello, everybody. Welcome to another session from IG Education from the UK office. And we welcome you to one of our prestigious live session with University of Hertfordshire. We have our premier guest, Mr. James Pullen, who is South Asia Regional Manager for Hertfordshire University, and we will hear today all of our entry requirement and the next session. And I believe they also launched a MBA program, brand new MBA program. We can hear about that from him, and obviously the most liked one, the scholarship. So everybody like it, and we will hear from him. So just a couple of introduction regarding IG education. Basically, in Inspire Global Education, we operate globally based in the UK, and we recruit students from all over the world to facilitate their higher study to UK universities. And based on that, we had arranged this live session for a university where a student can experience the full campus university experience, not like the city campus. So this is the another point for the international student, so they can feel that they are studying in a full campus based university. So there are a couple of the reasons you should choose Hertfordshire University, because it's just 25 minutes from London, and 96% of their graduate in work or further study once they complete their graduation from the university, and modern practical teaching facilities. And nonetheless, it has excellent teaching excellence framework, which is gold. So, I mean, there's no doubt regarding your teaching or the quality teaching you're going to get, and regarding your employability. So there's a fantastic opportunity for you to choose Hertfordshire University, and it is also top 200 university under 50 years old ranking, and they are heavily investing on their campuses on student experience. So I believe it will be one of the fantastic opportunity for everybody who is looking for studying in the UK, and with the full academic and full campus-based experience, fantastic opportunity for all of you. So without any further ado, I would like to take opportunity to welcome Mr. James to our session, and he will gradually explain you everything. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session, and so we'll answer all of your questions. So please, once you listen, as you go, if you have any question, please post it. Any question you have regarding your study, your gap year, or the English eligibility, all those things. So please feel free to ask the question, and we will try our best to give all the answer as much as possible. Yes, Mr. James.
All right, perfect. Would you like me to share my presentation, Nazir?
Absolutely. Yes, sure.
Perfect. I'll just share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. So,
yes.
Okay, ladies and gents. So, your international journey begins right here, thus at the University of Hertfordshire. So, when you're thinking about why you want to go to university, there's always a number of different motivations. You want to get a high quality degree, gain experience in your chosen profession, make new friends, to see new places and try new things. Now, with us at the University of Hertfordshire, you'll be able to do all of those things. We're one of the world's top 200 universities under 50 years old. So even though we're a young university, we're still very, very well ranked internationally. Now, we got university status in 1992. So just like you guys, we may be young, but we're very, very good. Fantastic place to come and study. Second safest university town in the east of England. Now, that's really important. If you think about it, for a lot of you guys, it'll be the first time that you ever lived in a foreign country. So you want to make sure that the place that you come to is safe. And if you look at the crime stats, the UK, Hatfield, where the university is based, is the second safest university town in the east of England. In terms of safety, I'd like to also point out at this time that we have put a number of measures in place to ensure our students are safe from COVID-19 as well. For example, throughout the university. We set up a one-way system so we can ensure social distancing at 2 meters apart. We've also, people have to wear, staff and students alike have to wear masks in the communal areas. There's also a hand sanitizing spray on the entrance and exit of each of the rooms throughout the university as well. Also as well, we are having smaller class sizes, with some classes being online, so we can maintain social distancing measures in the classrooms as well. Very, very important that our students remain safe whilst they're studying with us at the University of Hertfordshire. We have a 96.5% of our graduates and work with further studies in 6 months. Now, this is a really important thing, guys. Ultimately, the reason why you go to university is to make sure that you get a good job afterwards. That's why I went to university. It's why everybody goes to university. So that's your return on investment right there. You're looking at tuition fees of between £13,000 to £14,000, living costs of about £9,000. So an overall first spend of about £23,000 to £24,000. Okay, now, graduate starting jobs in the UK are about £25,000. So once you graduate, within 6 months, you would have paid off the cost of your tuition and the cost of your living costs, and all the money that you earn from that point all goes back to your pocket. We've been awarded the Eco-Friendly Campus Platinum Award. Now, this is obviously really important because one of the biggest issues facing humankind right now is climate change. Not only are we a safe campus, but we are also an eco-friendly campus as well, going green. We've been awarded gold for undergraduate teaching as well. That's a teaching excellence framework. Now, what you've got to bear in mind, guys, is essentially that you're paying for the gold standard of teaching when you pay your tuition fees to come to the University of Hertfordshire. That's the teaching excellence framework. It's a measure given up by the British government to indicate how good an institution teaching is, getting towards the kind of outcome frameworks, essentially getting the kind of jobs that you guys want long term. We're just 25 minutes away from Central London train, but you'll be sat in a beautiful green quintessential town called Hatfield. In Hatfield, there's two benefits to that. You have direct access to London, 25 minutes. Trains run every 15 minutes or so to London. However, you won't have the cost of living in London. Cost in Hatfield to rent is about £400-500 a month. To rent in London is about £700 to £800 a month. And, you know, that's almost double the cost on rent alone. So you'll have the same access to London, but you won't be paying the London price tag. Also with London, one of the greatest cities in the world. Spend your spare time wandering through multicultural London. It's an international hub for business. Attend major sporting events, concerts, theatre shows across London's amazing venues. Transport links between the University, London's 4 major airports, Heathrow, Gatwick, Stansted and Luton. Relax in beautiful parks, galleries and historic sites which are free to enter. It's a direct 25 minutes train from King's Cross from Hatfield as well. Now, scholarships. For the January intake, we are only offering the early bird scholarship, ladies and gentlemen. The only scholarship that we're offering for January 2021 is the £1,000 early bird discount. In order to avail the early bird discount, you will need to make a deposit payment before the 4th of November to avail that £1,000 discount off your total tuition fees. Here again, just another picture of where the university is placed, how truly international the university is. London King's Cross has been described as the portal to the world. You can get wherever you want, from to Europe, right up to Edinburgh, anywhere else in the world. It's a true international hub. Now, one of the great things about having a campus university is we have absolutely everything you can possibly desire on our campus. I always tell students, if you never ever wanted to leave the university campus, you would never have to. It's got absolutely everything there. It's like its own little city. A sports village with 100+ stations, gym and 25-metre swimming pool, doctor's surgery, high street bank, careers and employment centre, on-campus multi-phase spaces, 24/7 libraries on both campuses, 2 restaurants and multiple cafes catering to a variety of diets, including vegetarian, vegan and halal. Not just that, the University of Hertfordshire is in the top 10 universities in the whole of the UK for outstanding course facilities. We have a hospital and pharmacy simulation centre, television studio, car and flight simulators, one of the UK's only replica Crown Courts, state-of-the-art sports facilities, Baversley Observatory, automotive workshop and Formula students teams, a recording studio, environmental science field station, bioscience labs, and a robotics suite as well. Now, here, this is our beautiful green Cottage Lane campus, and as you can see here at the back, this is where all the accommodation is. So it's a very, very vast expansion, and we do have still a lot of accommodation available for international students for the January intake. Here is the £50 million science building. That is absolutely fantastic if you're into life and medical science. In the bottom left, just where my cursor is here, you can see where the Creative Arts Centre is. And right in the middle here, this is the computer science and engineering block. Okay, so that's the original part of the university, which was established in 1962. So you can imagine what a computer department looked like in 1962, and it's still there to this day. And towards the bottom, this is the student hub. So right here we have the SU. We also have student services, student advice. Any issues that you have, that's where students will be able to get support from the staff at the University of Hertfordshire. This is the de Havilland campus. The top corner, this is the law building right here. This is it's the 8th most beautiful law building in the world. So that's something very impressive, and it's a great place to study. Here is the £120 million structure, accommodation structure. This is very new, about 5 years old. There's also places still available there for January. Here you have the library of the de Havilland campus. You also have the humanities and the business schools as well. And towards the bottom here, you have £35 million sports village with absolutely fantastic facilities. Now, when you're looking at programs, guys, it's always important to look at the accreditation of programs. Essentially, accreditations basically indicate how strong the program is to the workplace. So ultimately, employers will be making sure that your courses are accredited to make sure that they're up to the right standard for them to hire you into their companies. Now, the vast majority of our programs are accredited. All of our law programs are accredited by the Bar Standards Board. All of our engineering courses are triple accredited, including the Mechanical Engineers Institute. Our computer science courses are accredited by the British Computing Society, and all of our healthcare courses are accredited by the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So that's a really important thing to bear in mind, guys. Always look for the accreditations, because that is the air mark, that's the stamp that indicates that it's going to get you into the employment that you want to get into. We have award-winning on-campus accommodation, as I mentioned before. As you can see there, it's absolutely beautiful and very, very expansive. There's a huge range of accommodation still available. And bear in mind, as international students, you will get first preference. In terms of fees, standard undergraduate courses are £13,000. Standard postgraduate courses are £13,500. Postgraduate computer science courses are £14,500. We also offer the Early Bird Scholarship for January 2021. Now, if you look at this hallway here, you can see all the flags. Every flag that you can see in that hallway represents someone that's been studying at the University of Hertfordshire. Amazing student experience. You can meet people from all over the world, try new activities on campus, visit London, St Albans and the rest of the UK using public transport and organised trips, discover what our Students' Union can offer, hundreds of societies and clubs to meet people who share your interests, chaplaincy in religious groups, study on a relaxed green campus spanning 125 acres. Sports at Hearts is also a great way to meet like-minded people and stay active whilst you're studying. We have 28 different sports clubs that represent at the Bucks League, which is very, very competitive and very good standard indeed, and it's a great thing to be a part of whilst you're studying at the university. You can see here, these are the living quarters. These are the accommodation. You can see in the top here, someone's at their desk working hard in their room. Now these are the kitchens. You'll share between 6 to 8 other people in the kitchens. These are the bedrooms. This is what our bedrooms look like. Absolutely beautiful. And here is the common room area, which is shared by the whole block of flats, so everybody can use that. There you go. That's our library there again. People studying away, working hard. And down at the bottom, that's the general space. That's the oval. So there's lots of different sporting and social events that go on throughout the year that students can get involved in. Here you go again. The swimming pool, the Life and Medical Science Centre, our labs, and the TV studio, film and TV studio as well. There you go, further indication of our labs. And this is the bottom here. This is the Learning Resource Centre, otherwise known as the library, which is about 4 floors and has every book and online journal you could possibly need for your program. There you go, just indication of the courses of the sports rather that you can take part in. Now, lots of our courses, they offer a work placement. Now, when you're looking for a work placement or when you're looking for work at all, you need to get in touch with the Careers and Employment Centre at the university. It's their job to help you get a job. So you will be able to sit with them, you will have a consultation, you'll find out what kind of opportunities are available to you and just how to apply for those kind of opportunities as well. The big news that you will all know about is the reintroduction of the post-study work visa. The graduate immigration route will be available to international students who have completed a degree at higher undergraduate level or above at a higher education provider with a track record of compliance with a valid Tier 4 visa at the time of application. Successful applicants on this route will be able to stay and work or look for work in the UK at any skill level for a maximum period of 2 years. Graduates will be able to switch into the skilled work once they've found a suitable job. The new route will be launched in the summer of 2021, meaning any eligible students who graduate in the summer of 2021 or after will be able to apply for this route. As I said before, getting a job, this is critical. You can apply for 20 hours per week to work part-time on your Tier 4 visa. We have the dedicated careers and placement team. They will be the ones that will help guide you to find those kind of opportunities. So, how do you apply? Well, that's the next big question that I'm going to answer for you. You need to submit your application online or with the help of my colleagues today. Receive a conditional or unconditional offer. If it's conditional, you need to submit some outstanding documents. We can go through those documents shortly. You then pay your tuition fee deposit, book your accommodation, receive your CAS, apply for your Tier 4 visa, receive your visa, book your flight to the UK, then attend orientation week and enrolment. In terms of entry requirements supporting documents, you need a copy of your academic transcripts and certificates, copy of your English language test results, academic reference, immigration history, personal statement, copy of your passport photo page as well. And guys, this right here, the number of our social media handles, I highly recommend looking at the content that we've been putting out in the last sort of 6 months or so. There's a lot of very, very helpful information there. So please take a look when you get the chance. All right, guys, that concludes the presentation. Do you have any questions?
Okay. Yes, we have a good number of comments are waiting to be answered. So I will follow which we should answer. And some people is saying hello to us. Some from Malaysia also saying hello to us. So the first question from the viewers or the prospective students is, let's show in the screen. So this is the question. So he has completed 3 years degree pass course. So am I eligible to apply for direct masters? If not, then what can I do?
Yeah, well, as long as you got the right grades, absolutely, you can apply directly for a master's.
Okay, so
and if you can give us a bit more information of what kind of masters you want to apply for and where you're from, I can then give you an indication of what the entry requirements are and when and whether you meet them or not.
well, I believe because predominantly we heavily focused on the South Asian market, so I can sense that whether this this question came from a Bangladeshi student. I can sense of that. So what, as you said, the right grade. So what is the right grade?
So for the Bangladeshis, you need the 4-year degree in order to apply directly for the masters. So I'm sorry, the 4-year degree is what we accept what we require for Bangladeshi undergraduate students to come apply directly for a University of Hertfordshire Masters.
Okay, so that bring me another couple of the questions related to it. Like some student complete their diploma before their bachelor. I mean, they pass the 10th standard, then go to the diploma, and then go to the 3 years diploma, then go to the 3 years degree. I mean, they are studying 6 years, but 3+3, like in India. So especially for those students like who has done their 10th standard, then 3 years diploma or 4 years diploma, and then they completed their bachelor. So I think it's a bit complicated, but we get quite a number of students who doesn't have like 12 standard. They have,
Right.
instead of that, they have diploma, and then they completed their degree from the university. So how are you going to assess that? Are they eligible for direct master's entry?
It really depends on what grades they get, and it depends on where they've gone to get those grades from. Ultimately, if you think you meet the requirements based on what we have on our website, please make an application.
Okay. The next question from Salim Riaz. How many years of experience is required for MBA program, and what is the English requirements?
So Salim, in terms of the years of experience, it's a freshers MBA, so you don't have to necessarily have any work experience. If you have some, that's obviously better, but it's not a set requirement for the program. And in terms of English requirements, you need to have 6.5 in IELTS or the equivalency on one of the other English language tests that we accept. We accept Password, PVT, Pearson's, Pearson's, PVT for some, and TOEFL as well. We are no longer accepting the Duolingo test.
Yeah. That's another logical progression question from Rakibul Islam. He also interested in MBA, but I think he is asking the work placement opportunity and whether it is paid or unpaid.
There actually isn't a work placement attached to the MBA, Rakibul Islam. It's one of those things where it's just the course itself. But bear in mind, guys, that you do have 2 years post-study work visa now. So you can work for 2 years after you graduate anyhow. So the work placement isn't as critical as it was before the reintroduction of the post-study work visa.
Okay. Next question is related to English test. Using internal English test, I mean, whether Hertfordshire University has any internal English test, and if it is, then whether you charge for it from Delaware Hussein.
We do have an internal English test. We do not charge for it. However, in order to be eligible to take the English test, you must have an offer with us at the university, and you must have some proof of your previous English language ability, like an old, out-of-date IELTS, for example.
Okay. And another student, Nusrat Rima, she wants to know, she recently completed computer science and engineering, graduated, and wants to do a master's from UK. Can I get scholarship and expenses, IELTS score, and course suggestion? So she has basically asked 4 questions. So I believe Mr. James already answered that the scholarship you're going to get for the January is only early bird scholarship. By 4th of November, you have to pay. And the expenses, as he mentioned, the average expenses. So all the details are available in the course website, university website. And usually for the Hertfordshire, they always look for quality student, and their English requirement that is why it's no less than 6, overall 6.5. So I know that, and you also should know that. And the course will be best for me. I believe this is the your intention, which course you are looking for, and the career goal you have. Based on, I believe you should select. So, do you have any comment, James, regarding this question?
Well, I guess the major thing, Nusrat, is if you can give us an indication of what you want to do for your career, I can sort of give you an indication of what the best course to do would be for that. So if you can give me a little bit more information, I can sort of tailor my response a bit better for you.
I mean, because the student is from computer science and engineering, so basically, I believe she wants to know because there are multiple dimension she can progress in her career. So
Yeah, but I mean, the nature of computer science is that there's loads of different within that. There's loads of different disciplines. There's cybersecurity, there's networks, there's data analytics. So there's software development. So there's quite a lot of range within that itself. So Nusrat, if you can reply in the comments and give an indication of what you want to do in terms of your career, I can then give you sort of further insight there.
okay, and next question from Shohan. He's asking the advantage or disadvantages of 1 year UK masters to 1.5 or 2 years masters in the UK.
Well, the advantage of doing a 1 year's masters is that you get to do it quicker and it's not as expensive. However, the 2 years masters in the UK means that you can stay in the UK longer, and then you can get 2 year plus post study work visa as well. However, it's really not that much of a big difference in the grand scheme of things, to be honest. I think ultimately what you need to focus on is making sure that you get into the kind of careers that you want long term. Now that's sort of the step that you have to take. I think lots of times I get asked these kind of questions, and I can kind of read that in between the lines that students are trying to find out what their sort of stay back options are. And I mean, obviously that's important, but the major thing that you need to think about is what you're going to be doing in 10 years, what you're going to be doing in 15 years, making sure you get the kind of jobs and opportunities that are going to help you get to those kind of positions long term.
Okay. Next relevant of our time now, like one student Farhan Islam asked, in the COVID situation, is there any opportunity to do class on campus? So this is the one of the major question we get asked all the time, whether there will be that is, I mean, the situation in the UK and what prerequisite Hertfordshire takes to onboard their student, welcome their students.
Yeah, so we offer blended learning, so it's split. So half the learning will be done virtually and half the learning will be done on campus to ensure smaller class sizes and to ensure social distancing whilst you're studying as well. So that is still a big part of what we want to do. That's a big part of the experience of coming to the UK as well. And we believe that face-to-face learning is still the best way to learn.
Yeah, I think another thing to point here, all students should be aware that they have to self-isolate 14 days as per the government guideline. So wherever you plan, you have to keep in mind that you have to be in self-isolation these 2 weeks. So you have to keep in mind that. And another question regarding the COVID situation, I mean, students are a bit worried. I mean, in more way that whether UK government, because in the situation of the COVID, different people get different negative news. They are expecting to a national lockdown, and in that scenario, whether they will be allowed to enter in the UK.
I can't really comment on that, to be honest. That's not really something that I don't work for the government, so I'm not really able to sort of say what the situation is with that. If we go on the basis of what happened with the last lockdown, pretty much all travel was suspended, so that's possible. However, you've got to bear in mind, guys, that you won't be coming until the following year anyway, January 2021. So hopefully by that time we'll have a clearer idea of what the British government's going to do in terms of a second lockdown, or if that's going to happen or not. However, that I'm not really in a position to comment on that.
Okay. Next question from a LLB honors graduate. He has done his LLB and wants to do LLM in the UK. Opportunity to apply without IELTS. Yes.
You need to have your English language. It's quite an important part of the general application. We get these queries often about not having to have IELTS. The reality of the situation is, if you come to the UK and you can't speak English very well, and you're paying all that money to study, you're wasting your own money. You're not going to benefit from it. You're not going to get a good grade, and you're going to have a tough time. So really, the reason why we want to make sure that our students have good English language skills is so you get the best out of your course. That's the sort of bottom line of it. So you do need your IELTS, yes.
Okay, so let's discuss about the question I have basically for benefit of all the student is first of all the deadline for the January intake, the application deadline.
6th of November.
Okay, they have to make the application.
That's right.
Okay. And would you like to tell a little bit about, because your recent branded MBA has multiple dimension in different pathways are available. So would you like to tell a little bit, how a student can get benefit from this MBA?
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be great if we could talk about that. I think that's the big bit of news for this year. That's that we're rolling out our new MBA program. It's something that we're very, very excited about, and it's something which we're hoping that lots of people will want to come and study with us. I think it's the sort of the big program that we've been looking to have for a long time, and it's also the program that I think is probably the best one that we offer in the business department for this particular intake as well. Now, the major thing about this masters is that there's 12 different pathways that you guys can study. So you really get the chance to create the kind of course that you want for yourself, really, which is great. It really sort of puts the power into your hands of what you want to do, long term. So when you're the thing is with this course as well, because it's a freshers MBA, you don't actually have to have a any work experience. So that's something which is quite an important thing to bear in mind. In terms of entry requirements, you will need a 2-2 or equivalent in any discipline. So what's great about this course is it allows you to come from across different programs, across different disciplines, to be able to come apply for this course. The IELTS is set at 6 with nursing 5.5 in each band, and we do offer other English language tests as well, as I mentioned earlier. Now, the fees for this course is £14,995. Now, it's a little bit more than most of our other courses, but this is the thing. It's the best course if you want to work in business. If you see yourself long-term working as a businessman or woman in the future, it's really very much the course for you. It's a full-time MBA, enables you to develop a critical, reflective, strategic leadership skills that you need to succeed in an uncertain world, challenging your assumptions, cultivating flexible thinking, effective decision making, and responsible management. As a Hertfordshire Executive MBA student, you will be supported by first-class facilities, including a virtual learning environment, StudyNet, which provides access to other students' lecture notes and over 100,000 ebooks and journals. You will also benefit from teaching and supervision by expert research active staff, several of whom are world leaders in their field and act as consultants with leading organisations such as Roche, Camelot, and BDO Harvard. So this is the debut January 2021 release. Now, when you're looking at the program, you will be able to see that there's 12 different pathways that you can take. Digital marketing, finance, healthcare, public services, sustainable industries, data analytics, project management, management consultancy, and information systems as well. So there's lots of different pathways that you can take to really specialize in whatever your particular field is. Some people want to go and work in hospitals, this kind of skills. Some people want to go and work in the IT sector. So it really gives you guys a big variety on that. Now, in terms of the course structure, it's broken down to a number of modules. So human resource management, strategic marketing, planning and entrepreneurship, financial management analysis, operations and business analytics, strategic management research, and executive career and professional development as well. So that's the one that will run through all of the MBAs, but then you'll pick your own specific pathway to get to the kind of course that you want it to be as well. So yeah, that's the course in a nutshell. It's really one that we're quite excited about for January 2021.
I believe, as you mentioned, there is no placement year can be added with this course. It's 1 year MBA.
It's a 1 year MBA, yeah.
Okay, so placement year is not relevant to it.
No, there's no placement year for the course, no.
Okay. Um, Another question from Muhammad Yusuf Abi. What is the exact course duration of MSc Computer Science? And also want to know, does it require relevant work experience?
MSc Computer Science is a 1-year course, and it doesn't require relevant work experience because that program is what we call a conversion program. So it's the students who have studied one particular discipline and want to switch into computer science. So say, for example, you've been a teacher for the last 10 years and you now want to become an IT specialist, you would study that particular course and then switch in to becoming an IT specialist.
Okay. Another thing came to my mind, like a student doesn't have required academic score, the academic grade. In which scenario you recommend them to go with the pre-masters and then come to
Well,
the?
it depends on what course that they're studying and it depends on what grades that they have. However, if they don't make the grade, they can go to HIC, which is Hertfordshire International College, which is our foundation pathway provider, and then they will be able to come through to the University of Hertfordshire for their degree after that.
So will it be a combined case?
It will be, yeah. You would get a CAS for both, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Another thing is the next available intake after January. It's September 2021, or you have in between any session?
No, there's no semester C. So no, you're right. It would be the next intake would be September 2021.
Okay. Another thing is regarding, I believe you know the Oxford International English Test. So in their website, they mentioned that Hertfordshire University accepts their test, ELLT, from OIETC. So do you have any comment on it? I mean, it is English test run by Oxford International. They mentioned that University of Hertfordshire accepts their test.
That's not something that I've seen, to be honest. We've seen very few applicants come through with that particular test. As far as I'm aware, all we're offering is the ones that I mentioned earlier.
I mean, your internal English test, or the list is provided in the university website. Okay. And another thing, important thing, because quite a good number of our students is the female students, and because of the master's student, they most of them are got married, and maybe they have one baby sometimes, or the married. So when they consult with us, one big concern they have, because of my family, I cannot go myself alone, and I wish to take my husband or my children with me. So in that scenario, is there any disadvantage taking my dependent with me?
Well, I'm not a visa specialist, so I can't really comment on that. But I know that a lot of students do travel with their families and study whilst they are raising young children. I know that's something that we've had students do in the past. However,
Okay.
what you're actually asking me there is a visa compliance question, I think, which I can't really comment on.
Yeah, because the thing comes to their mind, because I will be applying with my two other dependent. So if there is any possibility, even though I fulfill the university requirement, university give me the cash. So will there be any visa rejection, or I mean, how they will credible?
As I say, I can't comment on that. That's not my job.
Okay. Okay. And another question regarding for student from India. So you usually take the 12 standard as a English to waive their English. So what about a student who doesn't have 12 standard but have diploma and then completed 3 years degree? So they have done their 10th, then 3 years diploma, and then 3 years bachelor degree.
And then they've done a degree. We'd accept that if they've done a degree, yeah.
Yeah, at the end, because instead of 12, they have the diploma, and at the end, they have 3 years degree.
Yeah.
So you accept that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how you measure their 12 standard English, because they do not have any official 12 standard.
Oh, no, sorry, no, they need to do an English test, but we'd accept them going back. That's their pathway in terms of academics. But yes, they'd need to do an English test.
Okay, so if I have understood clearly that only those students who have 12 standard English, you can waive their English if they have that. If
That,
anybody has diploma, they have to have their own internal own English test to prove that they are sufficient to, or they have the required score to
yes, we
study. But
accept the
academically,
standard 12. We accept the standard 12. However, if you don't have standard 12, you need to take another English test in order to be eligible to come to the university.
okay. And one thing I believe, we get common question from Bangladesh, especially as you mentioned, the PSW has announced. So one negative, I mean, I shouldn't say negative, but student assume that all the responsibility is to the university, whether to accept the student or not. They say we do not need IELTS, or the government says don't need IELTS. So, I mean, as you clearly mentioned, that to study in the Hertfordshire University, they have to have IELTS or other alternative English. But the thing is, in especially South Asian country, we see the student is they get the false news that UK government didn't impose the IELTS requirement, and they are got. I mean, we get question all the time: so, do I need IELTS? Really, do I need IELTS? Or like the MOI based, medium of instruction based uh, admission. So from Bangladesh especially, do you take any medium of instruction based student?
Unfortunately, not. No, we don't take medium instruction. You really do need your English language. I often have this conversation with students when I'm meeting them in fairs and things like that, and it's one of those things where I know you don't want to take a test, but the thing is, you're only going to hurt yourself if you can't speak English properly. You won't enjoy the course. You'll be wasting your money. And Nazir, it's one of those things where the rest situation, you want to make sure that if you're paying 13, 14, 15,000 pounds for tuition fees, you want to make sure that you're understanding the content of the course. Now that's kind of the position that I have on it, and it's a position which the students themselves should have on it as well, really.
Okay, I think from this question we can. The student has completed Triple E, and his result is 2.70 out of 4. He doesn't have IELTS, any opportunity for the masters. So I believe by this time the student is watching our live session, they are clear that they must have to have IELTS from Bangladesh. So I think regarding their CGPA 2.70, so do this student need to take the pre-masters, or he will be eligible
The
for
student meets our grades academically, so it's 2.4 is the equivalent of out of 4 for Bangladesh. So he meets our academics. However, he does need to have his English language. I've said this a fair few times now, and I
Yeah.
understand that it's quite hard to get a test out there, guys. I do recognise that is a difficulty, but I'm only saying this for your benefit. If you can't speak English, you won't enjoy the experience. I highly recommend getting an English language test as soon as possible. There are a range of online ways that you can do that now, and there have been for a good 6-7 months. So, Mahmoud, if you want to come, buddy, please get an English language test.
Okay, I think another question, similar question from Mr. Russell Muhammad Al Amin. Is there any possibility of waiving the IELTS requirement instead of taking internal English test? Yes, we have answered that Hertfordshire University has internal English test. So student has to have the offer letter, valid offer letter from the university, and then they will be eligible to sit for the English test. One relevant question, is it the free test or it is the paid test?
We don't charge for the internal test. However, you must have an offer with us, and you must have proof of your previous English language proficiency, such as an old IELTS test certificate, an out-of-date one.
Can it be like Duolingo one or other approved one?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be other approved English language tests as well.
Okay. And another ex-UK graduate is Mr. Masum. I have completed bachelor from University of Greenwich. Shall I be eligible for master's program?
Yeah, if you've got a UK degree, you would be eligible for a master's program. Also, if you've done a UK degree, a UK undergraduate, we'd actually be able to waive the English language requirement for you to come on to do the postgraduate course as well.
So how many years gap you usually consider for the UK graduate? I mean, since they completed their bachelor or their master's.
3 years is the maximum, really.
Okay. And after that, they have to have IELTS.
Well, if you've got a gap of more than 3 years, we would be a bit more careful if we're going to offer you a place at all.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Nazir, I think I just understood what you mean by the question. If you've got a degree from the UK, that's
Yeah.
fine. We can waive the English language requirements.
So my question was, yeah, like I mean, the gap year, I mean, for example, if they have completed their degree in 2012, they wanted to come for the master's.
The thing is, if someone's got a gap of that long, a study gap that long, we probably wouldn't accept them due to compliance, due to compliance basis.
Okay.
The maximum that we really accept for study gaps is about 3 years.
Okay. And what about the second master's? I mean, a student who has done one master's program in the UK, they wanted to study the second master's. Are you accepting those applications?
We are, but it really depends on how they write their justification statement. So UKVI will always ask a student, you've already done a master's, why are you doing another master's? It's called progression. So basically, if they can show why that they're wanting to do that. Say, for example, you've done a master's in computer science and now you're doing a master's in management. Your justification would be, I know the computer science stuff, but I want to become a manager in IT. So that would be a justification statement to indicate why you're doing two masters. Now, that's what you need to make sure that you write correctly as your justification statement. So you can make an application if you already have one master's, but as I say, it is important that you justify why you are applying again.
Okay. Just another question from my side regarding the early bird payment date. Is it the fourth student has to make the payment, or the payment has to come to you clearly? So, I mean, definitely there is a gap for the international student. There is a time.
Sorry, the 4th of November is the payment deadline. So they make a £5,000 deposit payment before that or on that day. And then that will be taken off as a discount reflected on their CAS letter. So that £1,000 will be retracted from the overall cost of their tuition fees.
And what about the student who wish to pay the full and also wish to have the early bird?
Oh yes, sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we do offer the full fee discount as well. So if students pay their full fee off, they'll get the early bird discount, so that's £1,000, and they'll get £500 off as a full fee discount as well.
Okay, and to apply for the accommodation at the university, the valid offer holder, what they have to do?
You need to have paid your deposit and secured your place at the university, and then once you've done that, you are then able to apply for your accommodation. You'll need to pay £150 holding deposit of the room once you've got it as well. But the accommodation team will get back to you with a big list of all the accommodation that's available to you and ask you which one that you want to stay in.
Okay. So I believe we have had quite a good quality discussion, and we have discussed all the range of facilities to studying in the University of Hertfordshire and the way they can benefit for their future career, and the brand new MBA from the University of Hertfordshire, and the IELTS requirement, and the scholarship they are eligible for. And at the end, Mr. James, do you have any final comments?
Guys, if you want to come for January, please make an application as soon as possible. We're kind of getting quite close to the deadlines now, and we'd be absolutely delighted to have you come and study with us. Thank you very much for having us today, Nazir. I really hope that's helpful information. But guys, you need your IELTS. You need to get your English language, and once you've done that, you'll be able to go to Hertfordshire or any other university that you want to go to in the whole of the world.
Yeah, that's your generous comment. Even though you are from the University of Hertfordshire, you are encouraging a student to do IELTS. So it's open their way. I mean, it's basically aired their wings to fly anywhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like a passport. If you have that English proof of English language, you can go wherever in the world you want for your studies, and you won't limit yourself. And also, you'll have a better time as well. So I think they're the things that you guys need to bear in mind when you're making your applications.
Okay, I believe there's one last question came to my mind. I believe you only run the LLB bachelor course in the January, isn't it?
We do, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On only bachelor program you have for the January is LLB.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And we also want to thank all of our viewers and the prospective students or their guardians that they made their time to watch our live session. And we hope you have enjoyed our session and you got the answer you need. And we are here to answer all of your questions. Our mobile number, email address are visible here. So please knock us. Or if you need any assessment, further assessment of your documents, please send us. We will reply to you in the email. And we are here always to facilitate your higher education in the UK, especially Hertfordshire University, one of our key partners, to facilitate you, to give you all the real campus experience. I believe everybody can see in the background that how nice it looks. And it is really amazing to live and to experience the pure campus-based, which is basically not available in a city campus, especially in a London. So although it is very, very limited time you need to go from London to the university. So I hope you are enjoying the both side of the city of London and the university itself. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Mr. James, to give us time. And we hope we are expecting to arrange another session in the coming intake. And we welcome everybody to join us for our next one. And we want to say thank you, everybody who has joined our today's live session, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.